And now we're off and running. So welcome to the Digital Book World 2018 live stream. The reason that we organize this is to provide an opportunity primarily to interact with me and our team face to face. We've sort of been faceless, nameless. Nobody knows who the hell we are for a while, and so we wanted to start to change that. You'll see who we are, in October, but we wanted to put ourselves out in front and engage and answer questions. Try to preempt some questions, and then answer questions you have well ahead of time. So that's the point here. So I'm going to start from item number 2 here is our exhibitor list and floor plan. So the exhibitor list and floor plan has now been posted for the first time. It's on digitalbookworld.com. Go to digitalbookworld.com and go over to sponsors and exhibitors. Scroll all the way to the bottom. That sponsors and exhibitors page is going to change. We're going to change the look of that. But for now, just go all the way down the page and you'll see a PDF icon. And that is the in-progress floor plan and exhibitor list. And I'm going to pull it up here myself. As I just got done mentioning, it's not something that we're bound to confidentiality by the fact that Digital Book World last year had 8 exhibitors. And so even if Digital Book World were tomorrow, we're really, really happy with how the exhibit hall has taken shape. I see Ray is joining us. He's our Director of Business Development. He's done an incredible job, and our team has done an incredible job of constructing an event that will bring value to attendees and exhibitors alike and communicating that to the market in a way that's led to us being able to produce this document. The thing that I think is striking about this is that you'll see there's such a diversity of companies. There's big companies, there's small companies, there's media companies, there's audio and voice companies. That's been a theme that we've played up since that's something we're more involved in. We've got companies that are on the vanguard of technology. We've got companies doing incredible work. And it's exciting to see. I don't know what to tell you. We're excited about it, and we're excited to share it. And this floor plan for the first time does that. We've got a number of companies we're talking to that are not placed on the floor plan. The reality is we've probably got 20% of the floor plan left to sell, and the way things are accelerating, it is very likely that the exhibit hall will be sold out come October 2nd to the 4th. So first and foremost, wanted to put that in your hands. Just you're the first to get it. That's among several ways we're thanking you for joining us for this time right now. Throughout the year, we have made reference to something called the Exhibitor Game. In the very first document we ever put out there, we made reference to something called the Exhibitor Game. And I don't know if it's just my background or if there's some deficiency I've got, but I love the idea of having some sort of game layer tied into live events. A Digital Book World especially needed this because it came across the last couple of years as stodgy, the same people talking about the same stuff. We need to inject some fun into it in addition to new voices. We got the new voices part, that's obvious. But the fun part, we really haven't talked about. And there will be a lot of fun. The fact that all these people will be together in this gathering of community, that's fun in and of itself. And the uniqueness of the event, the freshness of the event, that's fun. But hey, that's not enough. We need something more. So we have just posted to Digital Book World as of last night a post. If you go to news and articles, it's one of the 2 most recent posts. I forget which one we posted first. But it talks about the DBW challenge. And I'm going to walk you through it right here while we're talking. So the idea is that we want to encourage 2 things. Anybody who's been to conferences, we've done a lot of conferences. You've been to a lot of conferences. Maybe you've done some. We want to encourage, number 1, all attendees, or as many attendees as possible, visit as many booths as possible. Common sense, but hey, sometimes it doesn't go down like that. We really want to explicitly encourage that. Number two, we want attendees to remain at the conference as long as possible. So we want to reduce attrition as much as possible. Those are the two goals of this program, in addition to just providing some fun to it. And so what we're doing is we've got a 50-point system, and attendees can earn up to 50 points. And what will happen is we're going to have a really nice printed program. This is another side note I'll mention since we're talking about it. We're not going to have a mobile app. We're not going to have a mobile app for Digital Book World. We're not going to have a mobile app for any aspect of Digital Book World. We're not doing mobile apps. I love technology, but I'm not a believer in doing mobile apps for conferences. I'm a believer in people getting off their phones and talking to other people. And similarly, I'm a believer in conferences not being dominated by pre-scheduled meetings. Conferences need time to breathe, and they need time for discovery and serendipity and all of those things. And so we don't have a mobile app. We don't have a digital book, despite the name. What we're going to have is a nice printed program. So you show up, you'll have this nice printed program. It'll have a lot of information. It'll be great. And in the middle of the printed program will be this fold-out poster thing. And the best mental image I can give you is the Monopoly McDonald's game board. If you've ever seen that. So in the middle of your program will be this board, and it'll be the floor plan. And attendees will have it made very clear to them that for each booth that they visit, there's a lot of companies that they're not going to know who they are. There's a lot of companies that they do know who they are. We don't want them to assume that they know your message. We want them to go to your booth. And so every booth that they visit will be a point. And that's up to 40 points they can earn. There's 4 additional points for tweeting using the Digital Book World hashtag that we'll have. A couple of points for attending the hall crawl, which is another opportunity for attendees to interface with the exhibit hall and with booths and exhibitors. And then finally, there's a bonus of 3 points, I think, for staying to the very end and turning your card in, your challenge card is what we're calling it, in at the very end of the show. So we think this will work. If it doesn't, we'll do something else next year. But we are putting our best foot forward to make sure that exhibitors have every opportunity to meet each and every single person who's there. Because I've seen the attendee list. There's going to be a lot of very interesting people there. They're already signed up. We're getting people signing up every day, like clockwork. And a lot of interesting people are going to be there. We want exhibitors to meet them. This is the least we can do, is be creative, come up with something that we hope will serve you well. Number 4 on the list, Digital Book World Press Office. This is something else that we're doing. So we are just, again, in the vein of making every effort to make our exhibitors and our sponsors and our partners successful, and also make sure that attendees hear the message and people who are watching from afar hear the message. We are partnering with PR Newswire, and I believe this is the first time this conference has ever done this. I think they've had a virtual press office before, but never before has it been made free to everybody. So we are covering the cost of creating what's going to be called the Digital Book World Press Office. And it's not cheap. I am cheap, but this is not cheap. And we're doing it because we believe in our exhibitors and our sponsors and our partners, and we want to amplify their message. So there's 2 components of this, and they're outlined in the post that we posted. And we'll be communicating more. Lisa Camo is our exhibit hall coordinator. Peggy Kilburn, longtime Macworld producer, is running logistics for us and managing the conference in terms of production. All of us will be talking more about this, but the press office will be an opportunity for every speaker, every exhibitor, every sponsor, and every partner, that's a broad term, everybody who's working with us to make this successful can use this resource. And there's 2 parts to it. Number 1 is you get a free press release. It's what they call state news line. I think that means that you can do it within one particular state, but it's something they typically charge just shy of $500 for every day of the week. And that's a simple thing. And I think also if you wanted to have a broader press release, you can credit it against that. They're very flexible and they're a great partner of ours. But at no additional cost to you, if you are one of those groups, you can send out a press release via PR Newswire that's related to Digital Book World, and you can schedule that before, during, or after the show. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, right? The second component is that you get a press kit that will be part of Digital Book World's press office. So there's going to be a lot of media. We haven't spoken much about the media that will be at the show. Trust me, there's going to be a lot that are there, and there's going to be from all across the spectrum. There will be some publishing industry people. There will be local people to Nashville. There will be regional folks, and then there will be national, and then there will be international. All of them will have access to the press office and will be encouraged by us to use that to quickly access resources. And so you're going to want to make use of that. And that's normally something they charge, I think, $400 for. And you can have a certain number of pieces of content in there. It's just another weapon at your disposal to maximize the opportunity, maximize every part of this, and get your message out there. So if you have not seen that, check that post out. We're excited about it. And it's just another way that we can support the people who are supporting what we're doing with this show. Awards, Digital Book World Awards. I'm not going to spend long on this. There's a lot of information that you're about to see on this. We're going to be announcing finalists next week. We very quietly have had a great group of people doing a lot of good work for us in helping us sort of parse a large amount of nominees. And we're not ready to talk about this yet. I put it on the agenda thinking maybe I would be. I'm not. We're going to table this, but I can assure you, I think it's next Monday's email. By the way, anyone who's listening to this who's not on our email list, make sure to get on that. You can do that from digitalbookworld.com, or if you're not on it and want to be, you can just email us directly. We're happy to add you and save you the trouble. There's 84,000 people on that list. And next, we got in the habit of sending out Monday emails. That's expanded now to multiple emails a week. But I think it's next Monday morning's email we will address the awards in full, and a lot of information will be in that, so you'll want to pay attention to that. The one thing I will mention is that the awards reception will be Tuesday night, October the 2nd. There will be a separate sign up for that, and a limited number of people will be able to attend. That's one of the things I can share with you that'll be in that email next week. A lot of people can attend, but it's not infinite, and it's certainly smaller than the number of attendees that'll be at the show, period. So you'll want to keep an eye on that if it interests you to attend that. Conversely, the alumni reception, which is the day before, we're going to open that up to everybody. There will be a registration process for it, but anyone who wants to attend that can attend that. You'll just need to sign up, and however many people show up is however many we'll have. Publishing Hall of Fame. This is something that we had the ambitions of doing from the beginning. There's nothing at publishinghalloffame.com right now, but soon there will be. And that is something the Digital Book World is taking the lead on. I don't know how there's not a Publishing Hall of Fame. I know that there's some things that are out there that honor people in publishing, but we really wanted something and saw a need for something that sort of bridged the gap, much like Digital Book World itself does, honored people who sort of sit at the intersection of publishing and technology. And that's exactly what we're doing. I can share with you, for the first time, nobody knows this except for the two inductees. And I'm happy to share with you who they are. One of them is Marie Dutton Brown, who is a longtime literary agent. I flew up to Harlem to meet with her earlier this year. She's phenomenal. Her daughter works for Hachette here in Nashville. I don't know for sure, but it's my understanding a member of her family will be on hand to accept the award for her that evening. This will be part of Tuesday, October 2nd's reception as well. She's phenomenal. The New Yorker did a fantastic piece on her. I encourage you to Google Marie Dutton Brown, New Yorker, or just Google her and you'll find the article. And we will link to the article when we post about these inductees later on. I think that's coming later this week. The other inductee is Lynn Edgerly, who has run the Kindle Chronicles podcast for the last decade. Now, as you can see behind me, I've already pointed this out. Part of Score Publishing's business is we run a podcast network called Voice First FM. And running podcasts is difficult. It's not a walk in the park. It's easy to get started. It's really hard to be consistent and persistent with it. Lynn Edgerly has run the Kindle Chronicles every week for the last decade. Imagine doing that. I can't. I can and I won't. And the guests he's had Jeff Bezos on the show multiple times. He's had all these folks on the show, and he's outside of publishing, he's toiled in obscurity, but he's an absolute legend. He's an institution. He is a pioneer for podcasting as a marketing device, and as a marketing device specifically within the publishing industry. And we're honored to honor him, and we will do that Tuesday, October 2nd as well. Every year we will have 2 inductees to the Publishing Hall of Fame, and that's it, no more. And we've got a committee of people that we use to guide us with that and help us navigate, sort of be our North Star. And you can count on this being part of Digital Book World from this point forward. I think that pretty much does it. I will touch, I didn't put this in the agenda. I will touch on the program. The program is beginning to fill out. There's still a dearth of session descriptions. That's going to be changing real soon. Some are already up there. We've got the case studies up there. We've got a lot of, we got the breaks where people will be able to go and review the exhibitors up there. We got a lot of stuff up there. We do have some empty slots. We've got some surprises coming that we can't talk about. If you've been paying attention to stuff going on in publishing lately, you may have an inkling, but can't talk about it. I'll resist the urge. But, we're just to talk about the program for a minute. If you look at it, when we started, we had no idea that we were going to be able to assemble such an incredible list of people to contribute to this program like we have. It's just remarkable. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I ought to take myself out of this. I just bring this thing down. But I mean, everything, I mean, we've got people from audio and voice, which is something that we're so interested in. We've got people doing stuff with interactive content. We've got people at the biggest publishers in the world. We've got people at the smallest publishers in the world. We're bringing them all together, and we love that. And that's what we want to do. There's value in that. There's not any value in the same people talking to the same people every year about the same stuff. We've got to have different voices in there. And we hope that that comes across when you look at the program, because if it doesn't, we did something wrong. And according to our attendance figures, we're doing something right. So we're honored that people would give us some of their time, give the attendees some of their time, give other companies some of their time, give the industry some of their time by being part of the show with us. And so keep an eye on the program. It is not done by any stretch. We got some major shoes to drop coming soon, but I did want to speak to it for a moment. With that, I will take questions. And with 27 people in the room, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to take everyone off of mute. So if you want to mute yourself, go ahead. And if you've got a lot of background noise, and Ray, I'm looking at you, I will mute you in a hurry. Let me see if I can unmute. Okay, so everybody is on mute, but I think you can unmute yourself. Someone can try to do that. If you can't, maybe I need to unmute everybody. Let me see. Oh, unmute all. There we go. Okay. So thank you for listening to me ramble this whole time. The floor is yours. Ask whatever questions you want, and I will do my best to answer.
Hey, Bradley, this is Amy. Can you hear me?
I can. You know what? I'm going to plug my headphones in. Give me a second here. Because I do want the Q&A to be on YouTube. Let me see. Give me just a second. Hey, Amy, I can hear you.
I'm curious about the process for the press releases. So can you be a little more specific about, like, do we need to submit those in advance, or what's the process for that?
Aaron, are you in the room? I'm looking to see. I don't think Aaron Keel is on this call. So my understanding, Amy, with that is that there will be a call with PR Newswire that Aaron Keel, who's our PR director, is organizing, that will walk everyone who wants to attend that through the process. It's my understanding that anybody, any of those groups that I mentioned, sponsors, exhibitors, speakers, partners, can begin taking advantage of those features. I think it's the week after Labor Day. So I don't think PR Newswire, nor we would want you to send a press release now. But like within that 30-day before window, and then 30 days after, and then during, whichever you prefer, you can send that out. And so there is a submission process. The press release has got to adhere to, whatever the grammatical and formatting standards are. You can't just throw something together. It eludes me what it is. We've used PR Newswire several times at this point, but you'll work with them, submit the press release. They'll take a look at it, make sure it's kosher, and then put it out the way that, on whatever day, whatever time you prefer. And it's a specific product. It's a PR Newswire product called State Newsline. And it's my understanding, and again, I could be wrong, I've been wrong many times, that product is specifically targeted to one state. So you can, I think it's like retail price $4.90 or something like that, that they charge for it. And you can put it out to all the media within one state is how I believe that it works. Now, if you want to take advantage of that, you'd be crazy not to pay attention to that or jump on that PR Newswire call. But even if you're not on that PR Newswire call, whenever that does take place, we're going to post all this stuff. It's going to be posted to the sponsorship and exhibitor manual when we revise that again down the road. It's going to be posted as a standalone post to digitalbookworld.com. It's going to be posted all over the place, the mechanics of that. But for now, I believe that's how it works is you format your press release. I think with what we're giving you, it's 500 words or less. It's got to be formatted. It can't just be, one long run-on sentence or something ridiculous. It's got to be formatted professionally. They'll put it out. It's got to reference Digital Book World somehow, and I believe that's all there is to it. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I'll start preparing it. It's good that you're letting us know, because it takes a while to write those things, and then I'll wait for the call to get the specifics. So yeah, that helps.
Sure. Other questions? Ray, have I left something out? Okay, I see you.
Well, I got another question, I guess, since nobody else has.
Fire away. I got nothing but time.
So for the exhibits, and I mean, I guess maybe I need to talk to you about this offline or whatever, but I'm just wondering if you could give a little more description in terms of what we should be prepared to bring along with us so that we can take advantage of that opportunity,
Um, are you talking about just from an attendee standpoint or as an exhibitor?
As an exhibitor.
So you definitely need to talk to Lisa Camo. Lisa is great. She's been running, she's got a tall order. This conference is scaled in a way that frankly we didn't entirely expect. And so Lisa's been playing from behind a little bit, but I encourage everybody to get Lisa on the phone and talk the exhibit hall through with her. What she'll tell you is that, there's a exhibitor manual that she has published to all the exhibitors who we have completed agreements with. If you don't have that, you need to get that. There's all the typical stuff. There's power, there's carpet, there's signage. I think we include a sign, and I think we may include chairs. I'm not sure exactly what we include, but Lisa would know the answer to that. And if you need her contact information, I can provide that. In fact, you know what? I will put that into the chat window of this meeting. So there's her email address, and let me see what her phone number is. I encourage you just to pick up the phone and call. And if you get her voicemail, leave a voicemail and she'll call you back. She'll probably be on the phone with somebody. Let me see here. I'm going to type this. I'm sure she'll appreciate this. I'm going to type her cell phone directly into this, thing here. But she wants to hear from you. So if you have questions as an exhibitor, she wants to hear from you, and I encourage you to take that information I just put into the chat window and use it. Other questions? Oh, there's got to be more questions than this. I just know it. We got 25 people still in this room. Trying to think if there's anything I haven't covered. We will publish this YouTube video, or publish the video of this meeting to YouTube. I don't think it'll be live until tomorrow. We'll tweet it out when it's available. We're going to make every effort to record the entirety of the show. We're not going to record case studies, I don't think. We're going to allow exhibitors to record case studies. There's a lot of proprietary material that will be in those. I think we're leaning that direction based on some of the feedback, but the talks themselves, we will be recording all of them, and including some that are sort of not even listed on the program. We've got stuff like, we just announced the Virtue Sales Customer Day. That's not on the program. They're going to be having a 3-hour session for their customers. It's part of Digital Book World. That's not listed on the program. Still, I think that we're going to work with them to try to record that. And somehow or other, we will attempt to make that available. After the show, I can't say it'll be free, but we'll try to make that available to people who are interested, just keeping in the theme of making this as accessible of an event as possible. We partnered with BISG, we partnered with IBPA, we partnered with the Alliance for Independent Authors, we partnered with WriterFest Nashville, we partnered with Writers Boon, we partnered with a lot of different groups with the sole purpose of making Digital Book World as accessible as we could. And that's not going to change in terms of the video. That'll be a theme throughout. So B, I see you said that I froze up during the awards. So all I basically said about the awards is that I'm not ready to talk about the awards. Basically, stand by. There's about to be a lot of information about the awards. I think the finalists will be announced, and a lot of stuff will become known with the awards in next Monday morning's email. Okay, well, this is a speak now or forever hold your peace moment. We may do another one of these before the show. In fact, I would count on it. But we appreciate all of y'all giving us your time. My email address, if you want to reach out to me, is that right there. And so I encourage you to reach out if you want to set up a call, if you have a question, something you don't want to ask in front of a bunch of people, or something that just occurs to you after we're done. Email me. We'll talk to you. We would love to talk to you. So thank all of y'all very much. And with that, we will adjourn. See you this fall.